This mystery box has some really cute projects like a miniature koi pond number 1, miniature koi pond number 2, and an American tree frog. And despite the fact that these are indeed mystery boxes, I got my hands on a cheat sheet. Now, cheat sheets don't always tell us the exact thing on the inside. They could actually be false or imprecise. So we're going to test our luck because I'm pretty confident that we should be getting the 3 that I really want. And of course, conveniently for you, here's the cheat sheet that you can use if you're looking for any specific project. I know I personally don't care for the plants or flowers or even the fruits, so I'm definitely going for the fish. However, I do have extra ones if we wanted to do the strawberries. Maybe we can even warm up with it and let you know why I don't like these. Now, even though this does say that it is $9, that is absolutely far from the truth. I paid approximately $16 each. Which, yes, I understand. I do like mystery boxes. Don't yell at me, okay? I know the whole point of mystery boxes is to enjoy the mystery. I know that. I know it. But sometimes when you spend hundreds of monies, it hurts your pocket. And sometimes you just need help getting the ones you really want. And we can see that there is a koi pond. I don't know why they call it pond. It's basically a miniature aquarium. Do not leave your fishies in tiny aquariums. By the way, this is just a craft project. And I love the aesthetics of this. I am for sure stealing this from my thumbnail. And it shows us, of course, that we can harden it with resin, which makes that water type effect. For those of you who don't know resin, it's basically a liquid when hardened with UV light or sunlight becomes a glassy plastic. And here you can have a miniature garden of cilantro, lavender. I do like the props. I'm just not crazy about the price to project for me because it feels a little lazy. But the ones I'm aiming for today, and we're going to see if that cheat sheet does work, is the frog environment. You can see over here. The koi fish 1 or 2 that you can see on the bottom right. And then there's another koi fish that you can see in a box type environment. That one is, that's the one I want too. Though let me know in the comments, which one do you like? Do you have a preference for a specific project? Do you like plants? Do you like vegetables? Or do you like little marine life characters or creatures? And of course, if you're new here, make sure to subscribe and click on all notifications. This will turn you into a grain of salt in the Salt Shaker family. We be salty, we be sweet, we're a little bit quirky in between. That means we're pretty similar. So come on, come here, I said, just join me. By the way, during a live stream, I did say this. Panties! We got panties. You want purple panties? We got purple panties. So it can't be a surprise to you Grayans that today we are sponsored by none other than MeUndies, the best panties I have ever owned. And I'm not joking when I say that I absolutely love the MeUndies panties. Our underwear drawer have no rhyme or reason, some of them from birthdays, some of them from Christmas, and some of them you just got because you thought the designs were pretty cute. But ever since I felt that buttery softness and comfort of MeUndies, I know that when I open that drawer, I reach in specifically for MeUndies panties. Because the comfort is unmatched. From blacks to classics to prints to absolutely unique and a little bit of a trippy print, MeUndies has a style for everyone. Coming in from sizes of XS to 4XL, they're guaranteeing a flattering cut for every body. And I mean, look at Salty Crafter. Oh my goodness, Salty. Oh, you look great. Flaunt them. They're very comfortable, very versatile, and they're just oh so buttery amazing. And MeUndies is not just about undies. They also have different kinds of loungewears like hoodies, onesies, joggers, and even stuff for your pets. For those of you who like to match. In addition to being breathable, stretchy, and oh so comfy. MeUndies' signature fabric is just like a warm hug from Grandmama. And hey, in addition to all of this, the materials are responsibly sourced. And they work with partners that actually care for their workers. And they do have a problem-free philosophy. Yes, if you are not happy with your first pair of MeUndies, it is on them. So what are you waiting for? When it comes to comfort, MeUndies has you covered. Get 20% off your first order plus free shipping on orders of $75 or more at MeUndies.com/nerdycrafter and enter promo code nerdycrafter.
Support my channel by going to MeUndies.com/nerdycrafter and using the code nerdycrafter to get 20% off plus free shipping on orders of $75 or more.
Thank you MeUndies for making absolutely super comfortable, stretchy, and absolutely adorable printed undies and sponsoring a portion of today's video. Now what makes these a little bit more unique when it comes to the cheat sheet, let me show you, is that the markings are very different. Usually we have pinholes, like tiny holes that you can see and it tells you exactly what's inside. However, the markings on these ones are not pinholes. They are almost penciled in letters and numbers and just stripes. So here you can see there's a marking. Over on this one, let's turn it around, we have a marking over here. So it almost feels like a pencil marking. And according to the cheat sheet, this one should be, let me double check, strawberries. So let's find out whether or not the markings are working, and this is going to set the tone of surprise or expectation for the rest of them. And I have to tell you that sometimes the markings are under this little thing that says new on it, so you have to keep in mind not to actually destroy the ones in the shop. I ended up buying the ones that I opened. Not that I opened them, but I had to lift the little sticker. I'll show you later. All right, let's see how you're like. Okay, don't worry, I got this. Nice, very nice. By the way, if you want to see the first series, there was also a fish that we did, and we ended up having a bit of an issue with the resin because there was this. Here it is, all done. I am so frustrated. Look at this big bubble that's just hanging around near the plant. So yeah, if you want to check that out, I highly encourage you. It is in the description box. But let's see what we have. And okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 items. And of course, the instructions. It's pretty basic. I'm really not liking the fact when projects are way too basic and it's just expensive. And here we have the shelf. I believe we can remove this. There you go. All right, so let's open our first surprise, and it is the strawberries. Okay, this is setting a good tone for the rest of the unboxings because it means that the cheat sheet is definitely onto something. These are absolutely adorable. I love these, super cute. Let's zoom into the strawberries and we can see little texture, we see the flowers. Again, I'm not saying these are not cute, I'm just saying the projects are too basic. And we have the paper that it was wrapped in, and it says, "The Mini Post Lifestyle from Farm to Table." And then all the rest here is kind of gibberish. So the first sentence says something and then the rest says nothing. I think it's Latin, maybe. Maybe it says something and I just don't understand it. Therefore it says nothing. It says here, "Have a very nice day, powered by fruits and veggies, your pond or mine." This is just cute. I love tiny details and things like this just make me happy. Next item we also have this thing wrapped around it. It looks like it's exactly the same thing, so we don't have to read that. And we have oh, excuse me. Okay, we have a tiny crate and a strawberry holder, I guess. Next surprise we have, let's pull you out, we have some tongs, the bottom part of the shelves. We have a bit of a shovel, and I'm not sure what we're gonna use this for, but we're gonna find out when we look at the instructions. But these things, they're basically the feet that you put under the shelf, like a so, and like a so. So basically you can display your creation inside here. And last but not least, we have the dirt. It says fruit and veggie mix, Happy Grow Co. Sweet Garden. And I have to say, I have grown to absolutely despise, I mean hate, these soils that they give us because it's supposed to keep the plants in there. But here's what happened. I feel like it's gonna fall. Yeah, it's definitely falling. It's not the best, it's still not great. It's absolutely still terrible. They just don't want to stay, is what I'm trying to say. This is absolutely horrendous. So this kind of acts like a bit of a kinetic sand. Let's bring it out. But it doesn't work very well. Let's show y'all. So here's the dirt, and you can see that it is indeed kinetic sand. And if you don't trust me, just look at the kinetic sand that we got in the axolotl, and it is absolutely very pink, but also very nicely stretchy. That's the axolotl mystery box, so it's kind of the same thing. All right, but that said, let's check the instructions. Now, I don't know if there's an ultra rare, but as far as I can tell, there are no ultra rares in this set. And we can get everything from the American tree frog, tomatoes, koi fish number 2, strawberries, lettuce, koi fish number 1, carrots, daisies, which again, the daisies has almost nothing to do, dahlias, cilantro and lavender, and anemones. Anemones are underwater things, right, kitty editor? Let's double check. Anemones are underwater. Double check. Let's hear Google say it.
Anemone.
And these are anemones. Anemones. Let's hear Google say this one too.
Anemone.
Thank you, Kitty Editor. You were very gracious about it. You didn't make fun of me. I appreciate you. You can make fun of me now. That's fine. Go ahead. Okay. Okay, that's enough, Kitty. Okay, Kitty Editor, go grab a snack. And then here we have basil and rosemary. And according to the instructions, it doesn't really show us that we need this little basket for anything in specific, but the instructions also say to just put the dirt, shove the strawberries, and you can go ahead and pluck the strawberries, and that's all it is. So let's do it. So here's our tiny crate. We're gonna go ahead and put the soil in there. I'm gonna try and make it as fluffy as possible so that when we add the strawberry, I'm gonna keep some on the side so we can try and compress it. There we go. It's pretty fluffy, so y'all don't yell at me and say like, Jackie, it was too compressed, there was nothing to hold on to, stop it. I'm doing my best here, okay? Just trying. And then we can put our strawberry. And I want to say we should probably create a little bit of a crevice like this, shove it in here, and try to compress like so. I'm gonna try to keep adding more because I really want this to work. This is the biggest annoyance I have with this kit, is that a lot of the soil projects just don't stay. So we're gonna do that. There we go. Nicely compressed, yes? So far so good. We're not gonna push our luck here. That's it. That's all it was. For close to $20, because $16 plus tax here in Canada, which is 15%, ends up being close to $20. It's expensive. So for me to spend literally 30 seconds to do this is just a waste of money. Now they do say we should be able to pluck the strawberries, so let's go ahead and pluck. Oh, look at that. Okay. Stop. That's cute though. This in itself is pretty cute because it's kind of like a fidget toy. Now my question is, can we put them back though and do that multiple times? So I do see the hole over here and I see the stem, and the question is, can I just push it back in? And the answer is yes. Okay. I might actually just pull the whole strawberry stem and keep it in my pocket and just remove and put the strawberries back in and out. I'm gonna say cuteness level, definitely an 8 on 10 project-wise and playability in terms of creation. I'm gonna give it a 2 on 10. Though it's cute decoration. I'll leave that up to you. But now, let's see which pet we're going to get. Koi 1, 2, or the frog. If we look over here, immediately we see a marking. And the marking, again, is a little pencil kind of marking. It goes over here. According to the guide, this is going to be koi fish number 1. So here's hoping that we do have koi fish number 1. Let's go ahead and open it up. There you go. Very nice. Very smooth. And let's get you opened up. Oh, that looks like strawberries. But we just opened the strawberries, so it shouldn't be. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 surprises. Definitely a lot more. Let's get that shelf unlocked. First thing I see is a bunch of rocks. It says Aqua Sun Co Pebbles, and there's this absolutely adorable little frog over here. And here's what it looks like in the back. And then the other thing that we have as a surprise is a bunch of aquatic plants, and it's kind of tied over here, which is really interesting. Let's get it done. And then like so, it says Lifestyle Farm to Table. So it's basically the same wrap that we've had in the strawberry. Here's what it looks like. Feel free to pause and zoom in. And here's what our aquatic plants look like. So I think we're on the right direction here, or we're going in the right direction. Next item, I'm going to guess this is probably the crate that the koi is going to be in. I'm hoping. Oh, what is that? Order form, wooden crate pond. I didn't expect that. Okay, it says order form. Does it open? No, it's just a receipt, and it says paid. That's kind of cute. And the paper is exactly the same, so nothing different. And here's what it looks like. I have to say it looks exactly like the strawberry, except it's smaller. Or is it? No, it's the same thing. It's literally the same thing. Next surprise, here it says thank you with a sun wearing a sun hat. That's interesting. I just saying it out loud makes it even more, a sun wearing a sun hat. Okay, it's kind of like when you watch those videos on TikTok and you see a bunny wearing a hat made out of its own fur. Someone just felted the hat. That was actually pretty cute. If you haven't seen that TikTok video, it is just way too adorable. All right, and what do we, oh yes! We have our koi fish. Oh my goodness, look at it, it is beautiful. I do love making environments of different kinds of fish. I did even make, probably, I think I might be the first person on YouTube to ever make a tutorial of how to make your own koi pond with resin and clay. It's a really old video, but I had so much fun making it. So if you want to check it out, definitely check it out. It is definitely old school. Let's take you out, little buddy. Let's check you out and see what you're all about. So here it is. Let's get you out. And it is on a tiny stand, but the detail on this is phenomenal. Look how small it is. Just to give you an idea, here's my thumbnail, okay? Look at your thumbnail. Look how small your thumbnail is. It is even smaller than your thumbnail. And the details are just beautiful. I love this. Paint job is beautiful. You can see the scales. Great job on this. And again, the fact that we have a stand makes it easier to actually put it together, but we'll see when we get there. Next surprise says Sun-Grown Farm. And it is our resin. So this is going to be the liquid that we're going to use in order to make our water environment. Again, we're in Canada, we're not summer, which means we do not have sunlight. So I will be using my UV light to harden it, which acts kind of like the sunlight, except it'll just harden things faster. And just to make sure that the resin is going to be liquidy enough, since again, this is Canada, it's pretty cold, I'm gonna go ahead and put it in a warm bath, which is basically just a little plastic cup with some hot water in it and let it sit for a few minutes. And lastly, we have the tools. And this here is basically, what is that? Oh, okay, so it's the little feet for the shelf. And we have the tongs, so nothing special in terms of tools. Once you put the feet on the shelf, this is basically what they look like, and you can put your decoration. I feel like I did this a little wonky, didn't I? Are you good? It's still wonky. Okay, we'll live with it. Now let's go ahead and see what the instructions are for koi fish pond number 1. And here's the project and all the little items that we get. And over here, it says we place our rocks and then put our fish, add the resin, add more rocks? No, what? This is confusing. Okay, we're gonna focus on step 1, rocks. Step 2, fish and plant, then resin. Harden it for 10 minutes and then resin again. I think we might have to do this differently. I don't generally follow the instructions because I find that we could do them better. So in my opinion, my professional opinion, because I've been doing resin for 10 years, is we're gonna put the rocks with resin, harden that, and then put the fish and put a second round. Here are the rocks. They actually do look like real rocks. And we're gonna put it just enough to fill the bottom. It doesn't have much left in there, but we do want the bottom to be as flat as possible, just so that the fish has somewhere to rest. So kind of something like this. And I'm gonna explain why. I like to understand why, okay? Maybe it's the ADHD in me, but I like to understand why. The reason why we're doing the fish and the rocks in 2 separate resin cures is because the rocks are going to accumulate air pockets. And what we want to avoid is those air pockets to come up. Okay, so we're just gonna stop the air pockets where they could come up from and then do a second layer where we avoid as many air pockets as possible. Make sense? Made sense to me. But they do want us to put the plant though. We might want to put the plant here, like so. There. I think this is pretty good. I'm going to take the tongs and remove a couple of the extra rocks. Like this. Let's see. No, plant, you stay. Plant, my goodness, you need to stay. I think this is pretty good. Plant, please. Plant, please. There. Okay, I think this is pretty good. We have a decent environment. We don't want the plant to fall over because that's just gonna look funny. And my resin has been sitting in the warm water for approximately 4 minutes. Let's get you opened. And voila. And now we're just gonna go ahead and pour. Oh gosh, you know what? We're just gonna go ahead and pour, like so. Get that resin everywhere. Put our plant. And this is where we're, ooh, And this is, stay! And this is where we're going to actually harden it because we want that resin to stop as many air pockets as possible. I will voice one more concern though, is that this is not a clear container, which means that we can't make sure that our resin is hardened all the way around. So we're just gonna do our best and really give this a lot of time to harden. Hopefully the UV light will be able to penetrate as much as possible, but until then, we really have to just do our best and harden it. So my concern is that some of the resin is possible that it stays just liquidy, and that's dangerous, so we'll see.
A few minutes later.
All right, so it's been about 10 minutes. I really wanted this to actually work, so let's just double check that the resin has hardened. It seems pretty good. Yep, the plant seems like it's staying in place. We like that. Now we're going to place our koi, and I want to make sure that our koi is very visible. So I think this is a good spot. I think this is the perfect spot. Okay, we're not gonna put the koi yet. We're gonna put our resin first. Hear me out. Come here, come here. Because we want the koi fish to avoid as many air pockets, again, we're just going to pour the rest of this. Like so. We definitely have a lot of bubbles. I'm pouring the rest of it. I know I'm gonna get yelled at because it says to put one more coat on top, so we're just gonna do this like that. There might be a little bit left, but we'll see. And I think some bubbles are fine because it is water. I get it. We're just gonna make sure that we have every little edge. Voila. Though my guess is that we don't have enough resin, but we'll see. And what we're gonna do is we're actually going to put our koi sideways. We want to make sure that our koi fish has resin everywhere. Okay, we don't want no air pockets under our koi. We're gonna sloosh it a little bit of everywhere. Yeah, we don't have enough resin. Our koi fish is nowhere near underwater. Okay. Remember, I didn't overdo it with the rocks. They're just at the bottom, okay? Voila. Very nice. Our koi is coated. Voila. And now we're gonna go back with the next round of light and let it sit. All right, so my camera decided to record without me, apparently. But what I was trying to say is that we have minimal bubbles going, and I did try to add more resin. This is what the camera stopped recording because I have this upside down for the last 10 minutes. And we're gonna try and add, again, more resin to see if we can cover that koi fish. They did not give us enough resin. Yeah, I'm trying here. I'm squeezing every ounce of resin juice on here. Come on, you could do it. We need to try and cover as much of that koi as possible. Miniverse, if you can please, this is empty. Give us more resin to cover the koi. That would be phenomenal, okay? Phenomenal. But no, as you can see, the koi is not covered. And I'm just gonna try and get every nook and cranny. Voila. And yes, the koi is just going to stick out. All right, let's go ahead and harden it for another 10 minutes. Voila.
A few moments later.
And here we are, another 10 minutes. This should mean that our piece is finished. We have spent so much time on this little thing, but look how adorable it is. It's definitely hardened, but the koi fish, as you can see, does stand out. And it's not like I put multiple layers of rocks and the resin really just barely touched the rocks. So don't at me. Maybe some of you are going to say maybe you need to embed the koi fish into the rocks and put rocks around it. I guess, sure, but you know what? I kind of like it this way better because we can actually see the koi fish. Maybe it's just surfacing to get some food. The big mouth's just kind of in the way and eating all the food. I think this project was cute. It was just time consuming to layer it, but otherwise I do like it. So I'm going to give the project a 8 on 10, but because we're missing a little bit more resin, I'm going to knock it down to 7 on 10. All right, next box here we have, let's see where the marking is. And we're looking for a penciled in marking. I think I pulled this up because you can see that if I couldn't see any markings here, I pulled this, and our marking is right here at the leaf, which means it is the American tree frog, supposedly. Oh, I actually really do love frogs because when I was a little grain and I used to go camping, all the camp counselors and the kids, they were all playing together. But me, I was really interested in the frogs. So I would branch out in my own little bubble, my own little world, and just go play with the frogs up until the point where my nickname at camp was Froggy. So I like frogs. But let's go ahead and get this opened up and see if we actually do get a frog. Almost, we were so close. Let's get you opened up. Oh, okay, things are falling. Let's get these instructions out of the way. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items. Y'all probably yelled at me because it says fragile here, and I just kind of tossed it. Okay, I noticed that later. Don't be mad at me. And if we remove these, we have the little shelf, which will eventually just look like this once we get the little legs in the mystery pack. And the first thing that I see is this little pack here. It says, life is ponderful, cute, quality pebbles. So we have some black pebbles here that are super, super cute. I do love this. Next mystery, it says sun grown. We have some strawberries. I'm going to guess this is our resin, and the answer is yes. We have more of the exact same resin that we have for the koi fish. So this is our cute resin, which again, I'm going to take and put it into a warm bath by the time we unbox everything. And then it looks like we have another aquatic plant. I'm curious if it's the same as the one we got in the koi, and the answer is no. Look at that. I think this is a lily flower. I could be wrong. Y'all let me know because y'all are pretty smart. Look how cute this is. We have a little fluff here. It's definitely a much lower water level, I think. And then we have here, it says, thank you. Again, the sun wearing a sun hat. And it, oh my goodness. It's our little baby. Oh my god. You know what? I thought the frog would be in here because it says fragile. But no, whatever's in here apparently is more important than our frog. What the shrimp? Okay, here it says frog. Hi, baby. Come here. Oh, there, oh, okay. Look at our little frog. Super cute and extremely tiny. Look at it. I love the pose for this one. Here's what it looks like in the back, and here's what it looks like on the side, and here's the underbelly. Very cute. I like this. We're gonna put you back in here so we don't lose you, because knowing me, actually, you know what? We don't want you to jump out either. So we're gonna kind of close this off just to keep you safe from me, mostly. All right, let's find out what's in this fragile thing. I guess this is where the aquarium is gonna be. So it's, I guess, supposed to be the glass container. No, it is not. It is a tiny pond made out of tiny little bricks. And again, we have here, it says pond rock in granite, paid. And this is our order form. This is cute. Oh my goodness. Okay, I like this. I like the fact that it's really different. So let's open the little tools. I'm going to guess we're just going to get some tongs in here. And of course the feet. There we go. Yeah, the feet for our little shelf. So I'm just gonna put that aside. And we have the tongs. Nothing special. Now let's find the instructions. Voila. And this is our project with all the items. And okay, so the frog's actually going to sit on one of the leaves. And it says, step 1 is to put the rocks, resin, plant, frog with a little bit of resin, and then go ahead and harden everything all together. I'm gonna do the exact same thing, and I'm just gonna harden the rocks first with the plant. And once we have that stable, because you saw in the previous one, the plant just kind of wanted to fall. So we're gonna stabilize the plant first and then put the frog. So here's our environment. Rocks. Look how pretty these rocks are. Let me know if you collect rocks, because I love people who collect rocks, because that's a hobby I just don't want to get into because I just don't have the time. So we're gonna put this much. We're gonna create some space. And we need to put the leaves a little lower. So I'm gonna try and flatten the leaves as much as possible, like so. And this is where we want our, no, you know what? I kind of want it to face forward, like this. This is gonna be tough. Grains, this is gonna be tough because we don't have light that's going to be hitting the rocks down here, so they may not cure. So I'm gonna pull this back up. Okay, all right, let's wipe off the water from our now warm resin. Oh, it doesn't have tape. Okay. Okay, all right, we're gonna go ahead and pour that resin. Should be nice and liquidy. And we're gonna get all the rocks so that we avoid, again, the air pockets coming from out of nowhere. Voila. And I'm gonna try to put the flour, oh gosh, the flour is definitely tipping. Yeah, this is not ideal. However way they package this flour is not ideal because it definitely wants to tip. So I'm gonna accept it for what it is and go with the flow. So we're gonna go ahead and harden this and let's give it 10 minutes.
A few moments later.
All right, so here we are 10 minutes later. I have to say, I didn't think that the resin was blue, but it is still not blue. I think it would have been really neat if they added a little bit of tint of blue on that one, but that's okay. We'll make do with what we have. Now the plant is still pretty wonky, but maybe the weight of the frog can help it stay down, or we can just keep it like this and add our frog over here. So I think that's what we're gonna do. Where are you, little froggy? There you are. Come here. And I think we can put it right here. Oh. Yeah, the plant is not cooperating. You know what I'm gonna have to do? I'm gonna have to start using the resin like a glue, because these plant leaves are just not stable enough for me. So I'm gonna go ahead and put another batch of resin, like so. And I'm specifically going to put it behind that one. And here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to push this leaf. I'm gonna push it down like this. So now it's flat. And I'm gonna take the UV light and I'm gonna shine it on top until it hardens in this position. So I'm gonna wait like 5 minutes like this. So wow. Tell me your favorite pun in the comments. All right, that's as good as it gets. The leaves are not doing it for me. I wish they had maybe some little piece of metal that makes it a little bit more flexible. And I think I'm going to have the frog facing outwards. So our frog will just be chilling, looking out, being like, you know what? There's probably better plants out there for me. Just saying. I agree, little froggy, I agree. So we're just gonna put a couple of drops of the resin, like so. And now we're just gonna hope that the resin and the frog don't slide right out. Oh gosh, I think this is cute. You're gonna see the other side once it's hardened. Here we go. Stay, just stay. And here it is 10 minutes later. Our little frog is definitely a little wobbly on here, again, because there's not enough light going under. But as long as we don't push it with our fingers, it is sitting there. So I think it's pretty safe. And if you want your frog to be a little wet, I would recommend taking some of that resin, pouring it on here, like so, using the little tongs, getting that one wet, and then putting it on top of your frog. So that way it's looking froggy and wet. There you go. Look at that. It's looking very cute and shiny. So you can just kind of coat it like this and then harden it again, which will give your frog a little bit more personality. Of course, remember to harden it. But here it is, all done and all hardened up. I think this project is pretty cute. I just wish the plants were just not too bendy, because now you have to kind of re-engineer how it's going to reposition itself. But then again, it leaves you room for creativity. And now, last but not least, according to the cheat sheet we have, we should be seeing koi pond fish number 2. And the marking for this one is right here. I don't know why this one is a number 3, unless I got duped and there was another marking somewhere and I really just hyper focused on this one. Let's see if we're lucky enough to have all of our cheat sheet items be true. Now again, I don't see any other markings anywhere else. Let me know if you see anything. Really, the only marking I have is this one. And let's get you opened up. Okay, here we have our instructions. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 surprises. And of course, if you want to remove this and you put the little feet that we're going to get in the mystery box, it's just going to be a kind of Zen shelf like this. All right, this is pretty chunky, so let's see what we have. It says sun grown, and okay, that is a huge jug of water, which is our resin. So that's pretty big. That's interesting that it's pretty big. That means the environment might be bigger if we do get the fish. And of course, as usual, this one I'm just going to put it in a warm bath, which is just hot water in a container to make sure that it's as liquidy as possible, so y'all don't yell at me and say,
"But Jackie, there was definitely resin in there, you just couldn't get it because you didn't warm it up and it's Canada."
I'm like, I'm sorry, I did my job here. This next one says thank you, so let's see what they're thanking us for. It is indeed our koi fish. It looks like it's actually the exact same one we got. No, it is different. It is definitely different. No, it is definitely the same. It is different because this one has black and white markings, whereas this one only has black markings. Okay, I'm glad it's different because it's supposed to be koi fish number 2, not koi fish number 1 with a different environment. I'm just saying. And we got you. And we got you. So here's our little buddy. Again, the scales and the detail, the painting are absolutely adorable. Very, very small. And our aquatic plant looks like it's an unbloomed flower wrapped in here. Okay, pretty straightforward, very cute. I do like the design on this one. And we have the little paper that is exactly the same as all the other ones that we got, whether it was a vegetable or fruit or a fish. And then this is going to be our environment. Yes, there you are. So here we have our little receipt. It says glass bowl with stand, paid. I love this little detail. I don't know why, but I do. So here we have an aquarium, basically, with a raised bottom. So you can see this is raised, and we do have a stand over here. I'm curious why it's raised and if we have to put the koi fish on there. We'll find out. Next we have some pebbles. Although these ones are actually much smaller, which should, in theory, make it easier to navigate. Here's what it looks like. And then we have our tools, which should basically just be the tongs and the little feet for the display. Yep, that's basically it. Now let's find out what the instructions are for this one. Got it? And this is our project. You can see that there's a lot, I mean a lot of rocks. Okay, and it tells us to put the rocks first, then the koi fish and the plant, and then resin. So I'm gonna do this in a few steps because, again, I don't want the rocks to leak out all the rocks. Well, the rocks need to leak out all the rocks. Is it lava? I don't want the rocks to leak air pockets. I keep explaining it because my brain worked that way. I know your brain worked the same as me. And since this is transparent, we're gonna go ahead and summon our beautiful felt, like so. See, I knew my felt, we needed it. Okay, hear me out. I might be onto something here. So you know how our space is very limited because we need to put our plant here, right? And we have to put our fish here, right? And if we put rocks on this pedestal, it might actually look a little wonky. So hear me out. What if we put some rocks in here and harden it first? I'm curious what that's going to look like. Bear with me. Bear with me. Sometimes I get strokes of genius. Sometimes I don't. So let's see what that actually looks like. So I'm gonna put some rocks here. And I wanna see if it's going to look like the rocks are on the other side. And the answer is yes. We should do that. We should do that. Grains, we're gonna do that. So I'm gonna do this. And we're gonna take our resin out of its warm bath. It's definitely quite warm. There we go. And we're gonna pour some of that. Ooh, that is really liquidy. And we're gonna pour some of it in here, like so. We just need enough resin to hide it. So we're gonna mix it up. There we go. And now we're gonna pour our rocks. I don't know if this is a bad idea. It just seemed like a good idea to me, so we're gonna mixy. Voila. I may have put too much. I think I got overexcited here. We're gonna flatten you up. Voila. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing it. If you want to watch somebody who's gonna do this right, by all means, it's not me. I'm gonna do this the way I think my brain operates. So we're gonna give this a try. There we go. Let's give it a go. Okay, and now we're gonna see if my idea was absolutely ridiculous. And it has hardened beautifully. Okay, this worked. This somehow worked. And now for my sake, because the plant and the koi fish are the most important bits, I'm gonna put some resin on the platform, like so. Swoosh it around, like so. And of course, we're gonna make sure that we don't put the fish on the side that has the seams. We wanna do it this way. So we're gonna put the plant here, there. And we're gonna put our koi fish, oh gosh, this way. Even though I do want it to face left, I think the best bet we have is to put it facing that way, just because of the curve. Okay, there we go. They're both touching the resin. Now we're gonna harden it again. This is in multiple steps. I want this to be the best version of itself, so I'm not following instructions. If you wanna follow instructions again, I can link a few videos of people who do follow instructions. And are y'all stable? Yes. Okay, now they're good. And you know what, should I put the resin first? I think I should put the resin first. I can see why they gave us a huge jug of resin. Okay, so I'm gonna pour that in this way. There we go. And we're gonna sloosh it around, just so that it gets the bottom rim of the part that is not elevated. You can see it right there. It's gonna meet. Come on, come on, come on. Beautiful, there it is. And this is gonna be the tricky part because I don't want the rocks to go on the fish, well, the koi. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. We gonna do this. We're just gonna go around. Oh gosh, oh gosh. This is where the plant is. Okay, I'm just gonna fill it up here. Oh, and tappa tappa. Tappa tappa. There we go. Looking good. Yes! I don't know why I'm getting excited. I'm getting excited. Yes! And you guessed it. Now we're gonna go ahead, take this again, our UV light, and we're gonna harden it again because we don't want too many air pockets. We have to work in layers. And now that it's basically ready with all the rocks, it's just about taking your time. If you build resin way too quickly, it's going to crack, it's going to yellow, it's going to just look absolutely weird. So we're just putting one bit at a time, hardening it, bit at a time, hardening it back and forth until I'm happy with it. And ta-da! Here is our koi fish. I have to say this is actually really similar to the first aquarium that we did in the previous video of the first series of this set. If you want to watch that, again, I highly encourage you check it out. But it just feels like a bit of a recycling of ideas. That's why I had an idea to do this one a little bit more differently. Here are all the projects that we did today. Let me know which one of these is your favorite and whether the strawberry was actually, if it hit a spot for you. If you want to watch more miniature crafting, make sure you click up here. If you want to catch reviews from Temu Craft Kits, make sure you check down here. Until then, I will see you grains in the next video.